Okay, so here is a scenario. You have got 5 to 6 perfumes, you bought them, you enjoyed them, and you use them for almost 2 months. And now you're kind of bored. You're kind of bored by the same perfumes and you're applying them and you're thinking, why should I not go and buy another perfume? Well, stop. That's kind of a trap, I believe. There are other ways through which you can make the same boring perfumes smell interesting. You start enjoying them again by using the art of layering fragrances. Well, I have been doing this for a long duration of time, but I haven't shared it with you. In this video, I am going to share with you 5 to 6 or maybe more than that combination of layering fragrances that makes the perfume smell really different, nice, pleasant, unusual, makes you have a unique edge over the others, and also it kind of makes those boring perfume. I'm not saying the perfumes are boring. Just because you've used them quite a lot, it might feel like boring to you. That kind of adds an interesting zing to that same perfume. So 5 to 6 layering combination for perfumes coming at your end right now. But before I go ahead and talk about the fragrance layering options, you need to know the way to layer the fragrances. The rule is always apply the heavy perfume first and the lighter perfume on top of it. Because if in case you put the lighter perfume first and put the heavier one, it's kind of going to cover the entire lighter DNA and all you're going to get is that heavy smell profile. Say for example, you have got Latafa Khamra and Louis Vuitton Imagination. Louis Vuitton Imagination is a citrusy perfume, a lighter perfume, where Radius Khamra is a denser, thicker perfume. So if you had to combine those two DNAs, you would have sprayed Khamra first and then on top of that you would have sprayed Imagination. So that's the rule. Now let's move ahead and talk about the perfume layering options. I'm going to talk about the DNA. You can use any clone inspired version or the OGs if in case you want to recreate that same combination. I'm just going to share some budget options with you. There are mid-tier as well as expensive options as well. So the first one is the most budget friendly option that I feel which gives you an edge over the others. And the name of the combination I would say is ICY AVENTUS or something like that. Because here you're going to mix HAWAS Ice DNA. I'm using Oud Layl Midnight Edition over here because it kind of mimics the same note of RASASI HAWAS Ice, but in the dry down, not the opening. And with that, you layer any clone inspired version or the OG, Creed Aventus. I'm using Wildstone Boss over here for reference. So using the Aventus DNA and the HAWAS Ice DNA together creates a very soothing, interesting, playful but serious perfume at the same time, because that HAWAS Ice has got that, fruity, bubblegummy, aquatic vibe with some icy nature. That kind of mixes with the pineapple, the birch, the moss of Creed Aventus DNA. And the mixture is awesome. And in terms of the perfumes that you're using, that will dictate how much the perfume is going to project and perform. But all in all, the DNA is very safe to wear almost anywhere, be it office, be it school, be it college, be it gym. You can rock this DNA any given point in time, and one of the most versatile DNAs that I've come across. Aventus DNA along with HAWAS Ice DNA. Okay, the next one also uses HAWAS Ice, and again, I'm using Oud Layl Midnight Edition over here just for the reference. And you mix a DNA of KAAF along with HAWAS Ice. In this reference, I'm using Menworks Legend because that smells like ALMAGHRIBI KAAF, but comes at a cheaper price point, smells really good, lasts really long, and also kind of eradicated the note of lotus, and that kind of induced a headache. I mean, in case of KAAF. Over here, I don't get that, same headache inducing factor. So I kind of like Legend more than the OG, which is ALMAGHRIBI KAAF, which again is an inspiration based on the DNA of Abercrombie Fitch and Fierce. So you get the point. You use Abercrombie Fitch and Fierce, you use KAAF, you use Ajmal Blue, you use Legend, you use Monte Rosa from a Babel, doesn't matter. And in case of Oud Layl Midnight Edition, you can also use HAWAS Ice, you can also use HAWAS the OG, but the matter remains the same. The DNA of KAAF and the DNA of HAWAS Ice goes really well together. And this one is more summer friendly, something that goes better in the high heat situations and something that you can definitely rock. So that's combination number 2. So let's talk about another combination, which is I call the Tropical Aventus. Over here, use any inspired version of Creed Aventus. For reference, I'm using Boss, Wildstone Boss, because that's the cheapest one that I've got. And you mix any DNA or any inspired version on the DNA of God of Fire. Okay, there is Vulcan Few, there is Opulent Dubai, but the one I'm using is from the Master Perfumer because their God of Fire is pretty dope. If in case you're looking for a DNA of God of Fire, the Master Perfume is a really good option. But once you mix it with the DNA of Aventus, that juicy pineapple gets a new friend, which is mango. And that kind of adds a awesome tropical touch to the perfume. And the entire combination feels way more, interesting. And if in case you're bored by the DNA of Aventus, just apply a layer of God of Fire on top of it. You will be amazed by how good the entire thing smells. And if in case you are in school and college, I think Aventus is a perfume which can be worn by anybody, but is a bit serious. This adds a playful nature to the perfume. So use the God of Fire DNA. I'm using Master Perfumer and Wildstone Boss. You can use any that you want to. So that's combination number 3, I believe. I'm losing count, so just let me go through the combinations. The 4th combination, I believe, is the one that I call the Absolu Vetiver. The reason I call this Absolu Vetiver is because it uses the DNA of Aventus Absolu and you add a note of Vetiver on top of it. See, when it comes to the Aventus Absolu DNA, my favorite is basically Muhammad Al-Qamar's version, which was basically the winner of the Creed Aventus Absolu Clone War as well. And I have put a lot of dent into this perfume, and I believe that in the dry down, this is hands down the best Aventus Absolu out there. However, there are many other options. There is Supremacy Collector's Edition, there is Theorem Matrix, and recently I found really good perfume, a bit expensive but very high quality, which is Aventus Pine Tone, the newer Pine Tone 2.0, which is basically a combination of Aventus and Aventus Absolu. So it's not specifically going right into the direction of Aventus Absolu, but it's kind of sitting in middle. So you can use this as well, although this is a bit expensive, around 25-2600 for the 60 ml. But the quality over here is top notch. And I mean, I'll show you an expensive layering that I use for this, but Aventus Absolu, when you add a layer of Vetiver into the DNA, the entire combination becomes so beautiful, you have no idea. I mean, during this monsoon, monsoon has already started over here. This specific combination is going really well for me. And if I had to give you one out of this entire video that you should go for, it's this one. Aventus Absolu with Vetiver, and I call it the Vetiver Absolu or Absolu Vetiver. Okay. This is for the budget friendly option because these two are kind of like within 1050. So that's the reason I was showing this. But the one that I actually wear to the office is basically this two. Layl Ancre Noir and Aventus Pine Tone 2.0. This too is the one that I have been rocking to the office. Now, obviously, Fatan and Ancre Noir are not the similar scent profile, but kind of both relies on the DNA of Vetiver. So for the Vetiver part, I'm using Ancre Noir, and for the Aventus Absolu part, I'm using Pine Tone 2.0. But the combination is so good. You have no idea how many compliments this entire combination has got me, because it kind of adds a dark layer of Vetiver onto the DNA of Aventus Absolu, which anyway is an awesome DNA to begin with. So if in case you want something a bit more premium, you can go in this route, but this two combined will be costing around 5,000 to 5,500, but the feel this two will give you is on a different level. So definitely check this out. Let me move on to my next combination now, and this comes from the house of JPJ, I guess. I'm using inspired version over here. You can use the OG as well. The Ultra Male DNA and the Le Male Elixir DNA. You combine those two together and you get a concoction which is, a dark party animal. If in case you're going for clubbing, partying, you're going on a date, you want to stand out, you want to, make that other person feel that you are playful, but at the end of the day, you also have a darker side, then use this combination. The Ultra Male adds that friendly partying vibe to the mix, while the Le Male Elixir adds the depth into the character. And this two combined is top notch. For the Ultra Male DNA, you have got much more expensive options like Rehan, Lion. Then you have got Ultramil, which is 9 p.m. after 9 p.m. For Lamal Elixir, I use this one and this one only, so I really don't remember the rest of the clones out there or the inspired ones. But once I got my hands on Vivienne Luxury's Lamal Elixir, I have started using it, and I think this is the second or the third 20 ml that I have bought, because I use this in moderation. I don't use this in standalone. I basically use this for layering only. So if in case you want a combination which goes really well for clubbing and partying, try the Ultramale DNA with Lamal Elixir DNA. My reference is go for Vivienne Luxury's Ultra and Lay Elixir. You're not going to be disappointed for sure. In terms of the projection and longevity, this is a very good heavy hitter. Project's really crazy, lasts really long, super good. Okay, now let me move on to something a bit more darker, a bit more gourmand, a bit more suitable for the dates and the winter occasions, in case the weather is cold over there, but at the same time it should be budget friendly. And the DNA that I'm talking about is, get any Tuscan leather DNA and you add the DNA of Kawah or Khamra into the mix. The most budget friendly yet high quality variant for me is using Menworks amber leather. It's kind of in between Tuscan leather and ombre leather, and I really love the DNA. And I combine Arabian Aroma's Old Money Elixir with it. Old Money Elixir basically smells like Khamra Kawah. Now this option is budget friendly, but it smells so good. I really don't have to reach for the OG Khamra Kawah and the Tuscan leather. Anyway, Tuscan leather is quite expensive. There is other like from RASASI, like Warm Porom or something. Yeah, that was also expensive. But if in case you ask me, I will be satisfied with this combination only. I don't really need to spend more on this particular DNA. What happens over here is, okay, out of these two, Khamra is the heavier one. So if in case you're using the layering option, add Khamra or Khamra Kawah first and then add the DNA of the Tuscan leather on top of it. Or else, Khamra is going to eat away everything because it's so heavy and dense and sweet. So apply this first and then apply this. This entire combination, what it does, there is dates, there is praline, there is coffee, but now you add raspberry and leather, and the DNA is too good. I would say this is Kawah leather, or let's call it Kawah leather, this combination, and top notch. If in case you want something which is gourmand yet has got the leathery essence into it, you should definitely go for this one. Now last but not the least, I'm using some expensive bottles, but you can also use the cheaper one. This is my final combination and I call this the Icy Theorem. HAWAS ice mixed with Bulgari tiger DNA. I mean, HAWAS ice is basically, Pakurawane Invictus, but ice is a bit different. So you can use this one or you can use the Oud Layl Midnight Edition. You cannot go wrong with this. And then there is Bulgari tiger DNA. I'm using Theorem. You can use Turathi Blue or any other tiger DNA that you have with you. But the entire combination adds a very different layer over here, because you're spraying HAWAS ice first. On top of that, you're spraying the Theorem. Theorem has got that beautiful note of grapefruit, and it has got that note of ginger, which is adding depth onto the DNA of HAWAS ice. HAWAS ice now gets the ginger and the grapefruit part, which elevates the entire DNA to an extent where this is very, very, very summer appropriate. But because of HAWAS ice having that aquatic undertone and the bubblegummy sweetness, kind of makes this entire DNA playful as well. The combination also projects really crazy because we are using HAWAS ice, which anyway projects like crazy, stays really long, and kind of enhances the performance and the projection of the Theorem or the Bulgari tiger DNA. So if in case you apply this, you are going to feel uplifted but playful at the same time, and that's the reason this combination really works for me. And there are many other. I didn't want to extend the video. If in case you want a part 2 or part 3, you have to let me know in the comments, and I will make more combination or fragrance layering videos for you to try. And that's pretty much it for this particular video. If in case you have any queries or concerns about any of the layering options that I shared, use the comment section. If in case you have any feedback, still use the comment section. And for shorter clips and bite-sized content, follow Send Saga Clips as well. So with that, this is Deep signing off. I'll see you on the next one very soon. Bye-bye.